We are live.
Holy shit. It's been a while.
I have a bunch of Christmas presents behind me.
How many are mine?
One, which I'd like to wrap and send out tomorrow. Dude, I've wrapped nothing. I've wrapped nothing. I had, as you know, I had professional gift wrappers wrap some of my gifts. But there's some I want to wrap because I bought Snoopy wrapping paper.
Well, then I think you should. What's stopping you?
I work all fucking day.
Don't be a lazy fuck. The hell?
I make videos for a living, and here I am making a video for free. My friend gave me an early Christmas present yesterday, and I love it. It is a genuine from 1976, before I was born. You were like 30, but I wasn't born yet. 1976 Snoopy phone rotary dial. Now, coincidentally, I have a Snoopy phone ornament on my tree, but it has the touch tone.
Interesting.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's an awesome gift. So everybody's aware of, obviously,
Show the red belt. What's the red belt?
Red belt? Everybody's aware of my Snoopy obsession in my life. So,
yes.
If you mean the Trump belt by Red Leather, no, it's in the other room, man. It's in my office.
You expected to get up. What the fuck's wrong with you?
I have to take it. It's in the office. I got to take it out of the case.
Yes.
So many things to talk about. Festivus.
It's been a month since we've been on here.
It's been a long time. We're a week away from Festivus. Going to do Festivus early. Tell your friends and neighbors. We are live. We are going to be airing grievances.
No. I think Robert, what he made a mistake was he said he was going to order a red strap on. See, there's a difference. See, yeah,
bro. You just say months ago. I got 100 belts months ago. So I have no idea. What belt would I get with a red strap?
I don't know.
A Cena? I have a spinner. I have the Cena New York spinner right there, dude. I've had it there for 2 weeks. It is still in the box.
that kind of plays into what I think is the main topic we came here to talk about tonight as we end the year. And to quote the words of the immortal one himself, the forever bearded moose.
By the way, lots of things have changed.
Yes. Fuck the hobby, and just, fuck the hobby.
Fuck the hobby. No, man, a custom belt. The only custom belt I got recently is my He-Man and the Masters of the Universe belt. Yo, that would be nice. We should get those made.
Yeah, but
minis.
But here's the thing, though. We're not getting them made to sell because fuck that.
No, I'm not interested in that. That would be a good idea.
We've talked about this subject before multiple times, and we've been told by so many people that we're wrong.
Are we going to piss people off
for thinking it? We're pieces of garbage for even thinking it, discussing it. What the hell's wrong with us? We're like Tim Walz. We have issues. No, I just said we have issues. So that's and.
I wouldn't. You know what? Let's not say the hobby's dead. People get really angry. They say the hobby's dead. The hobby's seriously damaged. Seriously, does it still exist? It still exists, so it's not dead.
The hobby's on life support, and the wife is sitting there thinking, should I pull the plug or should I continue to pay the mortgage on payment every month to keep it alive?
There's a lot of things that happened in the hobby that caused it to be in the position it's in. And I'll get to the number one reason at the end here. But in my opinion, of course, just my opinion. Number one, and this is not the number one reason, but one of the first things I'll start with, toxic. The hobby's toxic, right? There are toxic people. People that, and I know because I used to be one. No. People that live just for the drama of it all, right? And again, guilty. I was guilty of this. it drove a lot of people away. And there's people that still to this day um, really need that daily dose of drama. They need somebody to fight with. They'll take a veiled shot at you or me, so hoping that we'll come on here and take a shot back at them. It's a stupid game that I'm not playing anymore. What I do now is, so and so said something about you in the comments of a podcast. Block, done. They're out of your life. Now they mean nothing. There's nothing to talk about with them, right? Especially if it's somebody who you've done this with like 5, 6, 7 times, and they keep doing it, and you keep working it out, and they do it again, and you work it out, and like, dude, get a hold of your alcoholism or whatever it is that you have. I don't know. I'm not casting aspersions, but get rid of whatever it is that you have going on before you come to me with your bullshit. It's not something I'm really caring about. That's one. I think number two, but that drives a lot of people away. Number two is and it goes to the toxic people is, oh, your belt is inaccurate, or your belt is this, your belt is that. My belt is better. Stop. You're driving people away. 3, never really got over the damage done by like Eddie Williams, the scam of the century. The hobby never really got over that, I think. But I think a big factor here, 4, is the WWE shop. The influx of belts from WWE shop, I think really pushed it changed the game, and in a good way and a bad way. So the quality in WWE shop is much better. And most fans are going to get their belts directly from WWE shop. This hurts the resale market. It hurts the sellers market. It hurts the makers. You see belts that should go for that a year ago were going for $2,000, $1,500. People can't give them away now. Classic Shields selling for $500, $600. People put up the price of $1,200 or whatever, but what they're selling for is completely different. And I would advise you, if you have belts to sell, especially official shop, eBay is the place where you can get your price. Not in the belt hobby, in the groups. Everybody wants to get you down to the lowest possible price. So selling in the groups is gone, as far as I'm concerned. I see Friday sales post in every group. I see nothing sell ever. It's not even worth taking the pictures of the belt to put them up. And then number 5, and this is the thing I think is number 1, and you're going to get into, you have different reasons and all that, but for me, number 5 is the hobby it doesn't generate new people. So the people that are supposed to be the leaders of the hobby, the ambassadors of the hobby, should be going out to belt groups or going out to other wrestling groups to kind of grab people who are not yet belt collectors and say, hey, listen, WWE shop is great. They got a lot of great stuff, but come join our group because there's other stuff you can get, belts that WWE shop is never going to make, that you can get from various different promotions. Come to our group, talk about belts, see what you like. There was never any outreach to get new people into the hobby. And then when you do, like I said, when you do get new people into the hobby, toxic people chase them off. And so it ruins the bottom line for selling. Selling is a dead thing. I mean, will it come back? I don't know. What you're paying, I think, even for a Reggie today or certain shop belts, like people are still asking those $2,000, $2,500 prices, and they're not getting them. They're not getting them. Somebody offered me the British Bulldog belt, which I was, fond of, and they're like, $27.50 or whatever. And I think they sold it to somebody else, but I was like, I'm just not willing to do that anymore. I did that a lot. I'm just not willing to do it anymore. It's just too much money. It's a shop belt. And the problem is that when I was doing it before, there was a resale value to it. So you're like, well, if I have to sell them or I want to sell them, at least I get my money back. You won't get your money back anymore. Whatever you buy it because you want to keep it, because you're going to keep it. Mike, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. I have several reasons why I consider the hobby dead, and I'll call it dead. In the respect of again, we've said this before, of what it was is dead compared to what it is now compared to what it used to be. It's dead. So number 1, prices. Like you said, they are people. Pakistani makers got high on the hog with us. with the money we were giving them.
They got
I
high
mean,
on the supply. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, these guys, they were posting pictures of themselves on yeah. Anybody out there who's seen the movie Step Brothers, okay, and they remember the scene where they do prestige, worldwide, and they're singing the rap song on the boats and stuff and everything and it's like that's what they were like on the weekends. Like they were going out, they were, you know, they're renting yachts on the weekend, picking up some women. I'm sure, that cost a few bucks and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, but they got so greedy with it that they just kept. Everybody thinks they're the new Classic Shields over there, and that's not the case. And guess what? They didn't have a backup plan. Like when the market collapsed, they didn't have a backup plan because they got so, they weren't like, hey, whatever. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but I know like if you paid $500 for a belt in American dollars, that was like a huge amount. It was like thousands for them over there and stuff. Yeah. Instead of saying, oh, hey, let's take some of this and put this aside or whatever, or, for rainy.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No, they just blew through that freaking money. And now they're desperate. They're so freaking desperate that you even cough in the general direction. You cough on a video and it sounds like you said winged eagle or something like that. They're messaging you immediately. Hey, bro, I could do six winged eagles for you at $350 a piece. No, I don't.
Another problem. That's another problem too. Is there's 8 million makers now too.
Yeah. They're the market collapsed for them and they're fucked. It's just that simple and they're begging you and they're desperate for your things. But on that one end, then you do have makers like Classic Shields that have infinitely bumped up their prices, have not helped with their timelines or anything. It's not like
which is crazy. I mean, the market's collapsing and you raise prices when other makers are making HD belts, not as good as you, but they're making HD belts. Yeah. HD, which is a bullshit term anyway, but they're making HD belts, and they're competing on your level, and you raise your prices.
Yeah, I know. And well, again, it's the name recognition, the name brand, and guess what? Nobody cares anymore. I mean, there was a point when, oh my God, it's a Classic Shields. You have to have a Classic Shields in your collection. Classic Shields. Now people are like Classic Shields, like you said, they can't even move them for $500. The Classic Shields anymore.
I got a lot of my stuff is either American or I like Main Event belts over in the UK. I like red leather. That's who I've been using. Those people like that, and getting custom stuff. Obviously, they don't do boots, but getting custom stuff or what have you. That's what I've been using. And when I want a boot, I don't want any more boots. I'm done. Like I have everything I want. I just got a couple things that are being made for me right now. When they're done, I'm done. Like something pops up on the shop or something that I like, or it's like the Cena thing came up, I grabbed that. The Cena minis came up, I grabbed those. But
here's another example.
I gave away a whole bunch of belts.
Here's another example of the market collapsing. And again, why, quote unquote, the hobby is quote unquote dead. I saw a guy, and God bless him. I mean, I hope he sells it, but what did we pay for the WrestleMania Golden Tie? Was it $850? I think
they were $850 at the time.
Yeah, when it came out, of course, factor in taxes, shipping, the blah blah blah, all the other bullshit. You're talking like well over $900 for this. This guy, he's been selling his for $675 for weeks now. Nobody's touching it. Nobody's touching it. Are you freaking kidding me? Nobody is buying a WrestleMania Golden Tile for $675. Hundreds below what you would have paid for. And I'm like, that right there shows you that nobody's interested. Like I said, I've given away belts this year. You've given away belts this year because we can't sell them. Nobody.
Well, I tried to sell my CM Punk spinner and my Roman Reigns Legacy, and I put them up for $1,000 each, which I didn't know the market had fallen below that. And so I didn't get any bites. I just put them in storage. Like I put them in my closet. Like I'm not going to sell them for, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sell them at a loss. I'm not going to sell them for what I paid. So if they never sell, they never sell. They sit in my closet.
And even look at WWE shop. Now some belts have sold out, but The Cena thank you mini spinner is still there, limited to like 200. Did not sell out. The Undertaker $850 belt, the whatever the hell it was called, the Legacy belt, whatever the hell it was.
It's true.
Is still sitting there.
Well, they overshot on that.
Yeah. But the undisputed one that he had, the
Triple H is from WrestleMania, dude. They're still there.
Bro, I just bought for Christmas 2 WrestleMania golden mini titles. Signed now. Cost roughly the same as the retail was for the original, for just the belt by itself, the mini belt by itself, way back in April when it came out. I mean, correct. Even WWE shop is not. Some things are selling up, but most stuff is sitting there and sitting there for long periods of time. I mean, nobody. Listen, we obviously like belts. We have belts. Belts.
I heard that rumor.
Yeah, we all have belts, But here's the thing. Like, even people who like belts aren't really buying them that much anymore. And like you said, this is a twofold problem. Number one, I'm not saying there's no new people coming in, but like you said, there's a minuscule amount of new people coming in.
And those of us that are in the hobby have everything we want.
Exactly. That's the other thing. We have reached a point where it's like, okay, whether through the bootmakers overseas or through WWE shop, we have everything we want. There's nothing left to buy. If we're buying stuff, we're buying it just for the hell of buying it. Another point, to go piggyback on something that you said, the amount of damage that Eddie Williams did to this hobby and the amount of damage that Josh Hammer did to this hobby as well. Never really recovered because you had people who were considered trustworthy, that people trusted, and then they showed, obviously they weren't. And guess what? People backed off and they said, well, wait, I don't trust really anybody. I don't, trust. I'm going to keep, and that.
And a lot of people left the hobby because of that.
At one point, Brothers of the Belt was the place to go. Everybody, thousands.
Listen, look at the viewers right now. We could have came on, on a Sunday at 3:00 in the morning and had 50 people watching live.
Yeah.
That's how hot the hobby was. Yeah. I see that. I didn't know these podcasts. I didn't know there were still these podcasts on the air for the hobby, but we checked this week. And I mean, the numbers, except for the one podcast that buys their viewers, are paltry. I mean, I'm like, why are you even doing this? Like, this is why this is our last one. Like, why are you even doing this? Nobody's watching. You're talking to yourself. You could do this in your chat at night, right? Like, and so whatever. If you're having a good time, knock yourself out. I'm just saying, it changed. There was 3, 4, 5, 6 podcasts in a week. You had PTM and us and Going Broadway, which I was wearing their shirt today. The Growing Broadway, I got a hoodie from them. And there was Kevin Rodriguez's podcast. And they were all doing great fucking numbers. All of them. There was a podcast every other week, and people were watching every one of them. And cared, bro. It was the talk of the hobby. And now, nobody. If you mention one of these podcasts or something in the hobby, like, what are you talking about? They didn't even know. It's just changed. I was in a wrestling. What was it? Years ago, there was an app on Facebook. I don't know if you guys remember when Facebook apps were a big thing before phone apps actually came out. There was this wrestling app on there, and we had I did the same thing. It was a radio show though, because it wasn't broadcasting with faces, but it was a radio show, and that was hot for a while in that particular hobby, and then it died down because that's what hobbies do. They ebb and flow, and there are some people in the hobby, in the belt hobby, and here's what I'll tell you why we get so much pushback when we say the hobby's dead. Because we get off this computer tonight and we got our jobs and we got people and family and friends and we're doing things in life. And I do videos and get millions of people watching, hundreds of thousands of people watching, whatever. Like, we have other stuff. And most people have other stuff. But there is a small group of people, small but loud group of people in this hobby, that if this hobby goes away, their entire social life, their entire status, their whole sense of being goes away with it. Like this hobby is everything. This is where their friends are. This is where they have status. Whereas people look at them like, oh wow, you're John Smith. You run Crappy of the Belt Group. Whatever. You run small girls belts or whatever you run, right? Whatever your thing is, you're the leader of that group. You're a big shot. And in this hobby, they feel that they're like, yeah, I'm John Smith and I run. What was that one guy said? I'm the CEO.
Oh yeah.
The CEO or the boss of my group was that guy Guido, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
He's the boss of his group. The boss. Everybody watching this show right now can go start a Facebook group. You can be the boss of your group. I mean, but he acted like he built a business. I'm the boss of my group, and here's the what do you have, the wanted posters and shit? Like, it's crazy. Anyway, but in this hobby, that guy who's nobody in real life, right? Like, he's nobody in real life. He walks down the street, nobody pays attention to this guy. Nobody knows who he is, right? In this hobby, he gets to be somebody. He gets to pretend to be somebody. Whereas, I look at just taking myself for an example. I'm somebody outside of here. By the way, Fox News had one of my tweets on last week. I don't know if you saw that. I posted the video. But I'm somebody outside of here. And I think when that finally hit me was when I was like, I'm done with this crap. But I think that in the hobby, I think I was part of those people too, that like I liked to have that status in the hobby. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think I liked that. And you take a guy like Josh, who's they called him the Godfather. I'm like, where's he gonna get that in regular life? Where's he gonna get that in regular life? He gets that here. And it's an ego boost. And there's other guys who I'm not gonna name them. You know who they are. They run groups, and in here, in this hobby, there's somebody. And so they get really mad when you say the hobby's dead, because if the hobby's dead, then they're nobody again. They're not the podcast host that has 10 people watching, or, the group that has, 6,000 people and 5 of them are posting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they get to be that pretend guy here. And if you take the hobby away, then they're just regular Joe Schmo again. So that's my thoughts. I'm going to turn my camera off for a little bit. But go ahead. I'm still here.
I mean, I'll be honest. Let's keep it real, Carmine, as people like to say. Let's keep it real. The reason we haven't been on in a long time is because honestly, the numbers aren't there to justify us coming on. They're just not. And I admit that.
100%, dude. I do a video. Yeah. If I do a video at work and I get less than 10,000 people viewing it, that's a fail.
Yeah.
So coming here and getting less than 200, that's a fail. That's a huge. It's a waste of my time.
And people say I'm now about to cast aspersions on other podcasts that are out there and stuff. And maybe I don't know. Whatever. Think what you want. I really don't care. But all these podcasts. We're the number one. This we're the number one. What? You're the number one freaking belt podcast in the thing with maybe you have 60 viewers, 60 views. So
number one ain't what it was back in the days of PTM and BAM.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so out of, let's say, I don't know, I'll just do an estimate out of quote unquote, say 10,000 people in the belt hobby. Oh, well, you got to watch 60 to watch your show. That's a win. That makes your number of that. Okay. I mean, it's like, it's not what it was. I don't know if it'll ever come back to what it was. I don't think it will, because I think the interest is lost for most people. Again, like you said, most people have already what they want and they've moved on to other stuff. And really the only thing that hits is the drama, because, nobody else wants to hear about what anybody else has to talk about, And, we're again, we're going to keep it real here. We're not inflating our numbers. We're not paying for buys. We're not saying that people in Vietnam are waking up at 4:00 in the morning to watch it. Stuff, when they're not busy bombing each other and stuff. And, it's just not, it's just not what it was. And we did. We truly did try to basically bring BAM back in a way with the OGs. And we saw that it just the numbers weren't there. The numbers weren't worth putting the effort and the time into it, because nobody cares anymore. And there are people who argue with us. Well, my group does this many numbers, and I have this. Well, that's nice. Good for you. I'm happy for you. But for the most part, it's just not there anymore. And part of it is what we've talked about. Part of it is money. Part of it is lack of new people. Part of it is people being scammed and walking away from the hobby. Part of it is some people having everything they want, so they're just kind of like done. They just don't, even if they're still around, they're just kind of in the shadows or in the background. They don't really like comment and all that kind of stuff. Everything has its time, and I really think this hobby has had its time, and it's still going to be around. It's still going to be around in some way, shape, or form, but it's not going to be anywhere ever near what it was again, because I just don't think the interest is there. And let's be honest, a lot of people are not interested in current wrestling product either. AEW is always a freaking mess for years now. WWE is pissing everybody off with their put greed above everything else motto now that they have. And it's just people just aren't interested anymore. And these things could happen. There was a point, to go into a analogy from something more mainstream. There was a point when Disney and Marvel thought it could do no wrong. Every freaking movie they put out made $1 billion. That was the hottest movie of the year, and the merchandise sold everything. Now, you can't pay people to go see their movies. Everything has an ebb and flow, and eventually everything runs out. And it's the circle of life. The wheel of fortune. Just ask Elton John; he'll tell you. And it's just
it's a circle.
It's just the way it is. But I find it hilarious when people will be like pounding their chest and be like, I'm the number one thing of this and stuff. Or these people like, oh, we make so much money, so much money with our makers and stuff. We're bumping. Are you really? Are you really? Because makers can't move their shit. They're desperate. People selling their belts in groups can't move their shit. People are selling belts at like significant discounts, and they're still not moving. I mean, WWE shop can't even move stuff sometimes. And it's like, all right, but it's the hobby is happy, it's healthy, everything is great. Oh, okay, sure it is, whatever. And again, you want to believe that, that's fine, but I don't, and I don't anymore, and I don't drink the Kool-Aid. So that's life. That's life.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it.
That's life.
I think that, like I said, I'll go back to where I think that people need this hobby. They need it. And that's a sad commentary.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do after we're done here. I'm going to go watch a Christmas movie. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be looking.
Yeah, me too. I don't know which one I'm going to watch. I've watched quite a bit this week.
One person I do not want to wish a Merry Christmas to is Mick Foley.
Oh, that asswipe.
I'm over him. I'm over the whole freaking thing. This isn't the first time he's gone the victim route. Poor me, everybody. I'm standing
he's
up.
He's just a whiny crybaby at this point.
Yeah, and stuff. What makes me laugh is, for those who don't know, let's give a little backstory here. So he, as of today, severed all ties with WWE. Said he will not do any more appearances for them, will not do anything with them involved. And when his contract expires in apparently June of 2026 of next year, he will not be re-signing with them, because he's pissed off that Triple H and like people, some other people are close to President Donald Trump. And this isn't the first time he's taken one of his quote unquote moral stands, and then buckles immediately when the money was there.
Correct.
For him to buckle. But you know what? I'm tired of him. I'm so tired of him. I'm tired of the morals that he claims to have that falter under the almighty dollar. I'm tired of his, I have moral high ground more than everybody else. I'm so fed up with him, Carmine. I decided to purge myself of Mick Foley. I have no Mick Foley merchandise. Years ago, I had one Mick Foley signed belt. Okay. I sold that years ago. I had, of course, at one point I had some, Mick Foley, where various forms of Cactus Jack, whatever action figures. They're all gone. They've all been sold or given away. And I had one piece, which I actually forgot about. I had one piece of Mick Foley merchandise that I still had, and I saw it in my closet today. And I said, you know what? I said to Carmine, you know what?
You're always in the closet.
Yes. Well, I can't.
Right, Kolb in the house.
I said to myself, I'm going to purge myself of this too. And I decided to do what I felt was necessary to do to purge Mick Foley from my life, finally and for good. And what did I do? I, for all intents and purposes, burned him in effigy by taking a 25-year-old Mick Foley sweater that I had and just, well, here, let's watch the video, shall we? Let's watch.
Yeah, I mean, Mick has become quite a crybaby. What? Like, can you not hear me?
Okay, my mic was muted somehow.
Yeah, I was saying, Mick has become quite a crybaby, and it's so pathetic at this point. Listen, I absolutely said what I said yesterday. I didn't like how President Trump handled the Rob Reiner thing at all, and I denounced it, and I said it was wrong, and I moved on. He is who he is. I'm not going to change him. I don't like what he did. I don't like what he said. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but for Mick Foley to burn his association with WWE, look, at a point where who gives a shit about Mick Foley? Honestly, is anybody beating down the door to go see Mick Foley? If you've wanted to meet Mick Foley, you met him because he did 1 million autograph signings because he loves the money.
Here's my question I'm wondering about now. So they were selling for WrestleMania this coming year. Yeah, that's possible. Thankfully, they weren't delivering to me. But I remember they were selling tickets to a show, if you want to call it that, where basically Mick Foley and Undertaker were going to watch the 1998 Hell in a Cell match, the infamous King of the Ring Hell in a Cell match, and they were going to comment on it while you sat there in the audience watching it. And I think the prices were pretty exorbitant. Weren't they like it's $8,000?
Well, to hear them talk about a match they've talked about 8 million times.
Yeah. So what happens to anybody who bought those tickets now? Well, you just get Undertaker $30,000?
I would guess that he's contracted and has to do it.
I mean, I don't know. He claims he will make no appearances. He will make no appearances for WWE in any way, shape, or form while Trump is in office. So it's like, okay,
So I got a breaker here.
Oh.
Trump has designated the entire regime, the government of Venezuela, as a foreign terrorist organization. Considering that he has a nationwide address tomorrow night, that's not a good sign. And I do not support war with Venezuela. So anyway.
Yes. But no, I'm done with Mick Foley. Go to hell. Go away.
Yeah, I don't even want to hear him when he comes back. Like,
go do what you're gonna do, and we know this. Next year, Tony Khan will back up the $10 million contract to him to make 4 appearances here, for 5 years or whatever, and that's what he'll do.
Yeah, probably. And you can't blame him. Take the money, but whoever knew the hardcore legend would be so soft.
I mean, he's very much whiny, and that if you don't do something he likes, he takes his ball and he runs. He goes home. Pretty much.
Here's a guy, Mick Foley, who made it further than he ever should have. If you want the truth, this guy's a mid-card jobber on his best day. Happened to catch fire in the Attitude Era. Was the perfect time. ECW was hot. He came along at the perfect time for what he was doing. He's an out of shape, decent worker who could, work a match. If 10 years earlier, he would be Joe Jobber. And nowadays he wouldn't be anybody because he's not that great of a wrestler. And hardcore is not a thing anymore. So he hit lightning in a bottle at just the right time. And he should be grateful for what he has.
I will argue that he was still nothing less but a mid-carder, even going into 1998. That all changed with the Hell in the Cell match.
When all he did was jump off. Listen, yeah. I couldn't do it, but the fact is, all you need is a high pain tolerance. It wasn't a wrestling move.
Yeah. And then from there, all of a sudden, that's when he had a trajectory for about a year and a half or so, 2 years, something like that, where he was like one of the top guys. But before then, make no mistake, he was still a mid-card guy. You know, that's you know, it's the same way I'll argue when people will say to me that, oh, when Austin said, you know, when he did the famous Austin 316 line at King of the Ring 96, said, oh, he was on a skyrocket right to the top. No, he wasn't. You watch the next 4 months. He did not rise above the mid card until he had his feud with Bret Hart.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, that's it. He was opening pay-per-views. He was doing opening matches. He was doing the freaking free-for-all matches that were free as part of before the pay-per-view. You know, so he was
against Savio Vega. I remember that.
Yeah. No, Yokozuna too was SummerSlam 96. He, you know, and again, he just, you know, that did not put a rocket on his back, no matter what people try to say.
No, it's true.
And it's the same thing with Foley. There was no rocket on Foley's back until he did the King of the Ring. Oh, sorry, we both hit at the same time. Yeah, I mean, it was. But again, you know, he took abuse after abuse, and, you know, God bless him, he was able to recover from that. But
that CTE is showing now.
I know, but that was basically what he did. He took just beatings, you know, that was his thing.
It was like if you could. What I hated about the Mick Foley time as champion was, and I was against it even when it happened. I said, this tells the wrestling fan anybody can do this. Anybody can do it. And I think Eric Bischoff's instinct of, wow, that'll really put butts in seats, was actually the right instinct. It was actually the right instinct, but it was just the wrong timing. And for Foley, it was just the perfect timing. Well, then you're very young, my friend. You're very young. That's the year I graduated high school. So real quick, I guess before we wrap up, how many people have you blocked in the hobby?
Oh, multiple. Well, I've had people blocked for years. I mean, you know, some of them, you know.
But you tend to hold a grudge longer than me.
Well, I just F them, you know. I don't care anymore. Like I really don't care. I mean, when we look back at the amount of people that we used to be friendly with,
yeah,
and to the amount of people we are today, it's like night and day. Like we were talking like 40, 50 people. We're down to maybe like 10.
I'll tell you something interesting. I would have never guessed. I'll name some names here. I would have never guessed that I wouldn't be friends with some of the people I was friends with. Mm-hmm. I forget that some of the people I liked the most would have been Joey V and Randall. Like, are two of the people that I like the most now. I wouldn't have guessed that if you asked me that, 2 years ago. But I think once you get people away from the hobby and you yourself get away from the hobby and you change and they change and, you stop playing characters, which I think all of us did. We all played characters. And you actually get to know and meet the real people. You find out which ones are actually jerks and which ones are actually cool. So I think I got a lot from this hobby. I got a lot of belts and I got really cool people in my life. And I found out some people who were just jerks, and
we weeded like it took years, but we finally weeded out the amount of people, that are, I mean, listen, at one point I was, all right, if not friends, friendly with people. Like, I'll name names. I don't care. Ethan, Andy, Gianni, Mark Maggard, who else? Randall, or not Randall. What's his face? Kevin. What's his face? The fake tough guy, Nick. These guys stuff. I was like, okay, and
I would say everything that he has is the best.
Yeah.
Everything.
Mister, I'm going to have a mansion. Cross, all these guys, from the podcast, all these guys, and it's like,
The name I've heard all the time.
yeah, well, no who knows where the hell he is, but I'm sure it involves alcohol, wherever it is. But anyway, the thing is,
This time will hold me forever.
Okay, but at any rate, you saw not only how fake some of these people are, but really how miserable a lot of these people are. And
unhappy with their lives, I guess,
yeah.
in a sense.
And
That's sad.
I'm happy. I mean, my marriage is good, my kids are good, my life is good, my job is good. I'm at a point where I'm honestly more successful now at this point in my life than I have been at any point, like financially or
no, God has blessed us.
Yeah,
has blessed us tremendously. But I have no anger or heat with any of the people that you mentioned, and that's because what I would say is it's because I'd have to care to have heat.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't hate any of them. I personally don't have quote unquote heat with them. I just don't care anymore. I'm just like, I don't want to be involved in these anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't think about it ever.
just go away. I'm tired. I'm tired of the bullshit, and I'm tired of the lie, and I'm tired of all the crap. Just get the hell out of my life. I'll tell you one thing I didn't have on my radar this year, though, that happened was us breaking bread and making peace with Gary Sutton. That was a shock. Yeah,
that was cool.
I didn't see that happening.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was.
But he was right about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, ultimately, once you get past like the bullshit and the anger and stuff, and you see, and then you start realizing, maybe they're not wrong. Before we go, so I'm going to ask you two things. One of which I just said what mine was. What was your biggest surprise this year, and what is the thing you're most proud of this year as far as quote unquote the hobby goes? So
hobby, okay.
Okay, so I said my biggest surprise. Let me tell you my, and then you could have your turn. My thing I'm most proud of in the quote unquote in the hobby was helping to nuke the Reggie Parks Legacy Collection.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
That was totally freaking bullshit.
When the host of the show that it was on, that was basically running a commercial for them.
Yeah.
Who insisted it was a hard-hitting interview, yet he had like vignettes.
Yeah. My personal
him losing his mind on the show live
was amazing.
Was probably the funniest thing of the year.
I particularly got a kick out of the whole thing about everything that I put up about it before the show aired was wrong, and that's that none of it's true. And then they went on to completely confirm
everything you said
that I put up before the show aired. That was,
but yeah, the host of that particular commercial, and that's what it was. It was a commercial. Him losing his mind, his ever-loving mind on live video was hilarious. That was hilarious. And I know that guy Colin is like mad at me now, and I don't know why. The only thing I'm guilty of is asking legitimate questions. So if you're gonna be mad at me for that, because you wanted to pull the wool over people's eyes.
I mean, I think I could say Colin. I don't know him personally. I've never done business with him and never plan to. And I've never been a friend of his, nor do I plan to be. But my thing would have been was maybe you should have did more research before you jumped in bed with something that apparently you didn't know as much about as you thought.
I mean, Colin's always been a really good guy. I have no heat with him either. But I just don't care. And so, I mean, I think there's a couple people that are compulsive liars in this hobby. The host of that show is one of those people. It's a compulsive liar. The thing that surprised me most, how far the prices of belts have fallen. That would be the thing that surprised me the most. Thing I'm most proud of is my main event belt, Masters of the Universe belt that I got. I love that belt. That's just a fantastic belt, and probably the jewel of my collection. And I have a hell of a collection.
Well, here, let me do. Since we're in grievances, let me do a little rant here. So I got this thing about a month or two ago, right? UFC.
You're an angry elf.
Yes. Well, I mean, looks nice on the surface. Looks pretty good, right? I mean, it's no better or worse than any other standard belt you would get in a WWE shop or in Fanatics and stuff. The problem is this some bitch went for $750. This isn't worth no $750, bro. I mean, look at it. It's not flat, but damn, it's pretty cool. It's not really.
I got the V3, and the V3 is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, those are like maybe maybe 2mm plates with 2mm stacking on top. You look at, I mean, it's $750, bro. Really, And here's the thing:
is this where Kevin gets his views from?
Possibly, I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. I don't pay attention to his name. But again, people have said to me, well, send it back and stuff. Well, there's number one, because I'm not going to, because I wanted a UFC belt. And number two, it's actually sold out now. Like, it's gone from Fanatics. I don't know if it's coming back or not. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep it then, because,
And what's the difference? At the end of the day, you can afford it.
Exactly. But it's just, but I just wanted to say that's way overpriced.
Oh yeah, but like the Undertaker belt, dude. What they're asking for is nuts. It's nuts.
It is the thing. Now, I will say this: being an Undertaker mark, drop it by $250. I might think about it.
And it will. It'll be on sale, just like the Triple H belts.
Yeah.
In fact, I think they didn't ever actually sell out of the Survivor Series belt. I think they pulled it because it was fucking embarrassing that they were at the new Survivor Series with the old Survivor Series belt still sitting in the shop.
Yeah. Go back to the hobby being dead shit and stuff. I actually saw some guy selling a signed CM Punk spinner, like the official, like the CM Punk legacy spinner, not like just a regular spinner, for well below market value, and that wasn't going anywhere either. And I'm like, these were hot belts just a year ago, or less in some cases, and now again, hundreds off of the actual retail price that they came out for, and you can't move them. You tell me how that's a thriving, healthy hobby situation when you can't move these things.
No, it's not thriving. Listen, people can pretend all they want that, oh yeah, we're making boo bucks and our raffles ain't filling no more. I mean,
no. I mean, it's gone. And by the way, if anybody who's listening is interested in it, I don't remember the guy's name, and I'm not really here to promote him either. But hey, hit up. I believe it was in Belt Talk, and maybe I don't think it was in All Elite Belts. Maybe Belt Masters, one of the other one. A guy again, $675 for a WrestleMania 41 Golden title. Go look for it if you're interested, because that's beyond a steal. Look at WWE shop just did too. They put the blue block logo Big Eagle for like $2 something. Remember?
Hey, brother. Yeah.
$200 and some. Holy shit!
I think WWE is going to focus on sports belts now and legacy belts, and I don't think you're going to see like the AWA belt. I could be wrong. I just don't think you're going to see the classic belts come back. And I think
you'll never see the AWA. If they were going to do it, they would have did it by now. Yeah.
I think if there's a classic belt that you want that is in the shop right now, here's my advice: get it before it sells out, because I don't think they're going to remake them.
Well, I mean, let's go through the list here. So every Winged Eagle is sold out except for the all gold on the black strap. Everyone is gone. Every classic Intercontinental gone. Classic tag dual plate gone. They never did make a all gold one. That was gone. The Attitude Era tag gone. The Ruthless Aggression Raw and SmackDown tags gone. The European title never came back. That's been gone. Hardcore came back for a brief period of time. Gone. I mean, these belts, they're just not making them, anymore. They're just not coming. They're just gone. Yeah.
I think they're not interested in the legacy stuff anymore, like the old stuff.
No, I agree with what you're saying. It's gonna be pay-per-view specific belts.
I have them actually behind me in a box. I only opened the Crush so far, but they're here. Yes.
It's gonna be legacy type belts for specific wrestlers and events and stuff. It's gonna be pay-per-view belts, like for the specific pay-per-views, and sports belts, and then of course the current stuff, the current actual WWE titles.
Correct. Yeah, the current stuff will stay. But I think the old timey stuff is gone, and I think it's going to stay gone, bro. I hate that. I hate that. But this is a company that obviously doesn't care about the library anymore. It doesn't care about anything that's happening right now, and that's, I think, evident in how they're handling everything. You know, the library. I get ESPN app as part of my cable package, but it's not connecting. Right? It's not connecting for some reason when I try to log in. I haven't even called to try to fix it because I don't care. I don't care.
No. And
yeah, man.
I have, it's true. I mean, I don't think it wasn't last year. I think it was the year before. So we're talking what, 2023? All of a sudden, out of the blue, just no warning, no nothing. Black, because I have one up on my wall there. Black strap classic Intercontinental dropped back on the shop, and we're like, holy shit, you know. And remember we talked about, we were like, oh, I wonder if they're going to bring back the whites, you know, the strap, the blue strap, maybe the yellow warrior strap, maybe they'll find do a gold dust. No, those were available for maybe like a week and a half, weeks or some, and they saw never came back.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah, never saw them again. I don't think they manufactured more. I think that they just found like a couple cases in a warehouse, and they were like, okay, let's throw them up. The classic dual play tag has been sold out since 2024.
Yeah,
has not come back at all this year, and we're at the end of the year. You know, I mean,
I don't like that they fucked that up though. They didn't make it the right size.
No, but I mean, there's no, you know, but something told me in my head, because that's my favorite belt design of all time, to just grab the official. So I have an official one because I love that belt so much. I'll just have one, and I'm glad I did because you can't get it now. You know, I mean, the blue Big Eagle gone, the purple Big Eagle gone, the white Big Eagle's gone before those two.
Yeah.
Gold plated's gone, hasn't come back. The shop Ryan was gone for a couple months now, but I saw it's back in the shop now. But I'm curious if that sells out again. If you know, that'll be gone. If they just found a couple cases and put it out. One belt, I would put anything on. I would bet anything on that will if I shouldn't even say when. At this point, I should say if it ever sells out, that I don't see them ever bringing back again, is the Brahma Bull Rock belt, because that thing has been on sale, every freaking sale that has come up for like $300 some, and it's still there.
I would not put a wager on the big green, man. I really would not. Of all the belt designs, I don't think you're ever going to see the big green official. I can't see it, because here's the thing. I was telling my brother about this the other day. We're talking about Vegas Elvis shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Vegas Elvis shows are suffering now. They're not bringing. And I said, well, we talked about this. So, well, all right. And he said this: the people that remember Elvis, and the people that remember him enough to want to go see a show of an impressionist of Elvis, are dying off. There's not many of them left.
Yeah.
Well, the people who remember the big green, who would want to actually buy a copy of the big green, is a very small group. Hardcore collectors and people who were fans during that era. That's a very small group. And again, if you're talking about fans of that era that are still watching, because to go to WWE shop, you got to still be watching, and then would actually make a purchase of it. That's a tiny group. I can't see a big profit margin in the big green for them. I can't.
Well,
3D big gold I can see, but they didn't do it.
No, I mean, really, you know, not go back a few years here. None of that group of belts ever actually that were rumored to be coming out actually did.
None of them did, yeah.
Oh no, the big green
Peacock right now, and then YouTube.
You know, the WCW Cruiserweight, 3D big gold.
WCW Cruiserweight would not sell, I don't think.
Yeah, there was like one or two more that I can't remember now at this point. Not a single one of them came out.
You got to understand that Fanatics doesn't give a fuck about that shit. They don't give a fuck about that shit.
No.
They see the crossover appeal of baseball, hockey, football, basketball. That's what they see.
Yeah, and that's why they continually restock those belts. The other sport belts, the NFL, NBA, so forth and so on. They always make sure they'll sell out, but then they'll come back. They always
guess what? Those sell. Sell. Although I got Franklin one of those belts for Christmas. He showed it to me. Kansas City Rose belt was on sale for like $250. It's crazy.
Here, yeah. There's another one that's been gone for years too. I'm glad I grabbed that too.
I still have that. I still have mine. I have it restoned.
I actually forgot about that one.
Yeah, right there. Right there. That's right. They never brought it back.
No. And it's, yeah.
And they probably won't.
At this point, no. I'm going to say no.
No maker ever actually made that well.
You can't. I mean, the first problem, first of all, I don't think they could do the links properly. Second of all, how are you going to get it from Pakistan to the U.S.? I mean, that's a belt that if it's scratched, it's ruined. You got to keep that as pristine as possible. No freaking way between
the stones
and the making in the first place, and then put in the box, and then of course you're at some point during the travel process, DHL is going to open that box up and take a look in there. And by the way, it's not like they go with little gloves and say what's in there. No, they just take a knife, open it up. What's in there? What's this? Oh, okay, bam, throw it back in and stuff. So yeah, the idea
they're not careful with shit.
No, they don't care. There's many stories of people getting belts that have. It could happen to me with one belt where there was a cut on the strap.
Yep. I was going to say that.
Yep, and that's because when they open it up, they don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go to a maker for that.
Yeah, I mean, I have one, and it's nice, but yeah, they never. Yeah,
I had one, I got rid of it because how many? I just have enough belts.
I'm at like 50 some, and that's. I mean, I'm getting one more belt with you.
I'm at like 150,
and that's it. I still keep an asterisk for 2 potential official belts. A demolition one from WWE if they go in the Hall of Fame next year, which they may or not.
I love the one from Main Event belts.
Yeah, and I mean that is a nice belt. That is a really nice belt. I just but I just whatever at the time I just didn't get it to now. But and the second one, if somebody wants to send me one, that's fine. But if not, and maybe somebody will dupe me like they did Bill Gritz. And
listen, I have Demolition appearing for me in February, and I'm gonna have him sign it for me.
There you go.
I'm doing wrestler appearances now. So.
And the second one that I would put the asterisk for if WWE shop would ever make it would be the 5-plater WCW US, which I know they're not going to at this point. No, they're not going to at this point. They can't sell out the 3-plater. They're not going to do a 5-plater.
But the 5-plater was more popular. But you're probably right. I think the days of the classic. We could get off this tonight, and tomorrow there'll be classic belts in the shop. We don't know, but
yeah,
judging by what they've been doing for years, it's unlikely.
WCW World sold out last year, hasn't come back.
Never brought it back.
Nope.
Which is weird because if you sold it out, then it was selling.
That means people wanted it, yeah. But again, because they don't care. It's about pushing what we said, the current product and the other sports stuff, and that's all they care about.
So with that, I think we're done here, man.
Yeah, and if I pissed anybody off tonight, sorry. Not sorry. Don't care. Whatever. And
they can go on a podcast that we're never going to watch and rent.
Yeah. Remember we talked about this like 2 weeks ago. Not to keep us going here, but we talked about like was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago or somewhere. We were like, do those shows even are still shows? Yeah. Still because I have not watched any of them in like so long, and the only reason I would watch them back then is if somebody would come to me, hey Mike, they said this about you and Carmine and stuff. I go, why? I could care less about the rest of it because really, rather take a shit than watch. But I would
watch them talking about it,
and it would actually be more productive to take a shit. But the thing is, I didn't even know, and I looked. I'm like, oh yeah, they actually are still on. I mean, I didn't know. Didn't care.
Yeah, we were shocked. I thought they were done.
Oh, there it is. It's gone. Yeah. All right, already. So my guess is Roy Cole. So my guess is that they probably found another case or two in the back somewhere, or that was lost or whatever, and threw them up and said, okay. And now they sold out.
That's weird. That's a popular belt, but they always put it on sale. So, part of the reason I'll say this and then we'll end it. Part of the reason the hobby's dying is because you people in the hobby are so fucking cheap that you won't spend money. So people don't want to make new belts for you. People don't want to sell belts to you because you want everything for fucking nothing. And then you complain if it's not perfect, Andy. You want it for fucking nothing. And then I'm just saying Andy as a random name. It could be anybody named Andy. But, you want shit for free, and then you want it to be perfect too.
Well, there it is. They probably just found some and threw up what they had left, and that was it.
Yeah. I gave mine away because I have the C4 and the classic shields.
When you're done, I am going to say one more thing, just quick. It won't take long.
No, well, go ahead. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh,
maybe if you guys were willing to spend some money, the hobby would, the shop would still produce shit. Good.
So I'm going to put myself on solo here because I want to show something. So anyone who's thinking about getting these, I do highly recommend them. I have both sets now. The demolition figures from Ringside Collectibles, the exclusive.
Oh, they're great. Yeah,
they're actually really good. They're better than I thought they would be. They're like near like Ultimate Edition articulation. Head sculpts are for the most part pretty good. I mean, I have this version of Axe on here, but they made one major mistake, and it was bothering me. But for me, it was an easy fix. For you, it could be. It depends on your skills. I know Carmine can't do it because he has the artistic skills of a brick. But like for Smash, they forgot to paint his eyebrows, and he always had his eyebrows exposed. So I went ahead and did it on mine, and I think it looks just about perfect now.
It made it look so much better. It really did
with the eyebrows because he was missing those freaking eyebrows. I don't know why, but again, they're great figures. The gear is removable. They have tons of articulation.
Yeah, Ringside's doing a great job with figures.
Yeah, I mean, these dropped as a surprise to everybody. Everybody couldn't believe, like what the hell is going on here, and I like where did these come from? And I liked them enough that when I got the first set in, I was like, damn, I gotta get the second set too because I'm a huge demolition mark. I did not cancel my Mattel pre-orders of the upcoming ones like a lot of people did, but damn, these are actually very, very, very good products. So I highly recommend.
I want the Mattel ones too, and I got the big rubber guys ones the first edition and the second edition with Crush this time.
So if you're thinking about them, definitely go for. I do highly recommend them. They're very nice.
Yeah, no, they're nice. Yes. Shout out to Big Rubber Guys also because they're doing great work over there.
And one of the good things is the mask. I don't know if you could see here, compared to the head, it like sticks out farther in the front, so that way, like when you put it on, it's not like right up against the face, so it's not like rubbing the paint off or anything. So you have like a gap there between the mask and the face, so you don't have to worry about damaging the paint or anything on it. So that's a good thing too.
Do the wrist guards come off? I didn't open mine.
Yes, as a matter of fact, here I'll just show you. Now the hands are not easy to get off. I'll be honest; they're very they're very tightly in there, but you have to pop the hands off, take the wrist guard off, and just because I'm gonna put back on, I won't push it all the way back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But I mean, these are all like one piece. Like you can see the buckles are there, but unlike the WWE ones, they don't open up. So you have to. That's how you have to do it.
That's what I was thought. Maybe they opened up.
Yeah, no. They're all solid.
They're all salty.
Yes, salty like a sailor.
In the words of Popeye, ga ga ga. So did we have fun?
I think so. Said some things we needed to say, specifically talking about the Bell Hobby being dead. I'll say again, the Bell Hobby is dead. It's dead. I declare it dead. It's dead. By the way, it's dead. I'm going to get a shirt that says Bell Hobby is dead.
Yeah, I don't see nothing selling in any groups that I'm in. Any of that.
It's not.
I watch it, But so I want to say Happy Hanukkah to those who are currently celebrating Hanukkah.
Yes.
And Merry Christmas, obviously, to us, those of us who celebrate Christmas and the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and a Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you have a happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. And honestly, like I said, I mean it truthfully. I don't hate anybody. There's no room for hate. I wish only good things for people. I really do. I have no negativity towards it. I don't wish anything bad on people. I do wish people stop being like liars and stuff like that, but that's up to them. Everybody's got to come to terms with who they are. I did. And shout out to our new friend, Gary Sutton. We love Gary. I love Gary. Gary's great.
Well, you love all men, but that's besides the point.
Never thought you'd hear me say those words, right?
No, there's another surprise. Right at the end of the year, yeah.
There's your end of the year surprise. So, yeah, Gary's a great guy. All right. You have anything else you want to say, or can we go?
No, I mean, I don't know if we will or won't do another show or in the future. I guess if the situation warrants it, but
I mean, just don't listen. We're not under contract. We're not, getting rid of a contract or something. And if we want to do it, we'll do it. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah.
So, that being said, oh man, my back is hurting. I've been sitting in chairs all day doing videos. So,
and we still are.
We love you guys. God bless you.
Signing off. AB
Take care, buddy.